Hello everyone, welcome back. I want to talk a little bit more today about the coronavirus home defense plan, and I wanted to focus in on the actual home defense plan rather than the overall strategy that I talked about in the last video. Okay, if you haven't seen the first video on this, go check it out because it'll kind of give you the whole strategic plan. Here, I just want to focus on the actual defense of the home. Okay. And like I said in the earlier video, you gotta have the right guns, and the right guns is the same thing that SWAT teams use nowadays when they go into into any residence, right? And if they're trying to execute a high risk warrant, okay, what do they have? Okay, they're not holding shotguns, they're not holding pistols, right? The pistols are in the holster, but their primary gun is an AR-15 with a red dot scope on it. And a light that's about 1,000 lumens. Okay, so that's what you want to have. You want to have the same thing that the police use to defend themselves. Okay, and it doesn't make a difference whether they're going into an apartment or whatnot. They're using AR-15s for any high risk warrant executions. Okay, and the other thing is that an AR-15 is really easy to shoot. So it's easy to train your wife on it. It's easy to train your neighbors on it. I talked about this in the prior video. You want to have enough guns, not just for yourself, but also for your other members in your household and also for your neighbors, because you may have to depend on your neighbors to help reinforce your defense, right? You want to have a network of neighbors to, where you can basically defend each other in a situation where the police are not expected to show up to reinforce you. But your neighbors may not have AR-15, so you gotta make sure that you're able to supply them with enough guns so that they can protect you. Okay, so on guns, AR-15, and then you gotta have a plan. Okay, you want to pick a safe room in your house where you're gonna make your stand. Basically, all the people in your household, they gotta know where they're gonna go so that they are behind you, not in front of you. Okay, and this is something that you should drill, that you should plan, that you should rehearse. So for most people, it's the master bedroom, but it can be any bedroom. You want to look at the layout of your house to make sure that whatever direction that you are most likely to be shooting in, it's a safe direction. As far as when the bullets are traveling in that direction, if they go through the walls, you want to situation it so that they're not going directly into your neighbor's house. So one bedroom may be better than the other. Okay, so that's a consideration. Now, in my particular case, I want to get the family upstairs. I want to make my stand at the top of the staircase where there's a wall that I can take cover behind, and I want to be shooting down the staircase at the bad guys that are trying to come up, because basically I'm basically putting them into a narrow corridor where only two guys can come up at a time, side by side, and it doesn't matter if there's 10 guys behind them. They're all in a tight corridor, so if I open fire, AR-15 rounds are great because they will go through multiple bad guys. If I unload down the staircase, okay, I can pretty much eliminate that threat because they're all confined. Okay, so that's, again, this is all part of the planning. You decide where you want to engage them. I would rather not engage them on the first floor. Okay, your situation might be different. I would rather not engage them on the first floor. The reason is because I got lots of windows on the first floor, and it might be possible for bad guys outside of the house to see me and shoot me from the outside. Okay, now of course I have blinds. I have I've in a situation like this, I would basically make it so that people can't look into the house through the windows. But again, that you may have them breaking in through the windows. On the first floor, there's sliding doors that are easy to break. So again, there's multiple directions where I could be attacked from on the first floor that I would rather not put myself in that situation. I want to put myself in a situation where I'm shooting down a narrow corridor where all the bad guys are tightly confined. Okay, another option for me would be the basement, because again, basement, one staircase going down, right? And I wouldn't actually, if I was gonna put myself in the basement, I wouldn't position myself in front of the staircase over here. So here's the basement. I want to position myself here. I would actually position myself on the back side because like most basement staircases, you can see through the steps. So from the back side, I can see people coming down. They can't see me. So that would be a good way for me to engage from the back of the staircase. Okay, so again, this is something that I've thought about. And again, I know, what direction the bullets would be going through, once they go through the bad guys, if they go through the house, where they're going to end up in. And I've already identified that as a safe direction to be shooting in. So I'm not shooting at my neighbors, okay? So again, this is something that you got to think about, and then think about how you're going to communicate with your neighbors if the electronics are not working, if the phones are not working, And in the prior video, I gave the idea of, I keep a couple of 100 feet of rope. I keep a number of cowbells that I use for my animals that, I would be able to run rope between the houses and attach bells at the end so that we can signal each other. Okay, so that's something for you guys to consider. And if that may not work for you, but you may have a different idea. But the point is that you got to consider that. Okay, so these are things I kind of wanted to focus on. I don't think it got enough attention in the first video that I did. You wanna have a plan in advance with your neighbors so that they're not shooting into your house. You want to make it clear to them that they're going to be shooting at what are obvious bad guys outside the house. Okay, and that said, you got to be careful about not going outside your house. Okay, you got to stay inside the house because if you go outside the house, there's a good chance that you'll have your own neighbors shooting at you. So again, this is something that you got to think about. If you can get yourself some of those cheap walkie-talkies, that are good for like maybe a quarter mile. I think I used to get them for like $20 or $30. That might also be a good way for you to communicate with your neighbors. So if you do decide that you need to go outside your house, they know that you're coming outside of the house. You may also, you may also develop a system with like light flashing each other. So if you come out of the house, you have a light on your rifle, you flash in the direction of your neighbors, let's say like 3 times, and they flash you, and you wait for them to flash you back 3 times. And if you see that, then you know that they know that it's you, or that they know that it's safe, whatever. But the point is that it's a way for you guys to signal each other with lights, okay? And what the lights might mean different things. It might mean that you're coming out, or that that the situation is now safe and they no longer need to be shooting at you or shooting in at people around the house, whatever it is. But these are all things that you have to think about. If you guys have any other questions, comments, any of your own ideas, put them in the comment section. If you're not a member of the channel, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys soon.